All right. Hello and welcome to this episode of Boomer and Degen. I'm your host Biz, coming at you live with co-founder Andy from Crypto Hub HQ. Guys, if you haven't done so already, would appreciate if you guys give us a follow on our YouTube or on Twitch, on X, on wherever you can find Crypto Hub HQ. Join our server as well. You can find the link in the description. Not in the description, but on the website. If you scroll down to the bottom, you'll find the link to our Discord and join our community. And before we get started, want to address, the market looking pretty healthy today, which is awesome. It's great. Today is Chinese New Year, so officially kicked off the year in the new lunar year. So happy Lunar New Year's to those that celebrate it. And I think that's the housekeeping out of the way. And Andy, how's it going? I mean, you're in Asia. I mean, it must be super big where you're at, where you are.
Oh yeah, I mean in Asia, Chinese New Year. I mean they they celebrate the main New Year of January the 1st, right? But then automatically it starts shifting for the preparations for Chinese New Year. So people are wearing Chinese outfits. There's Chinese lanterns everywhere. In the same way there was Christmas trees. Thai people love a celebration, so they'll basically follow every. I don't care what country it's from. They'll follow it if it means they can have a party and dance and a reason to stop work. They're very good at that. It's a much healthier kind of lifestyle than the West, where it's all about work, 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 and you feel guilty if you're not working. Not like that here. It's really not like that. So I think they get it right, we get it wrong. So from a work-life balance.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's so the Thais would say "Sawadi Pi Mai," which means Happy New Year.
Wow,
So
there we go. You're gonna have to teach me that again.
I will at some point. Yeah. So okay, let's do it, shall we?
Cool. Yeah, let's get into the market health. I'm not sure if there was if the events, the news events were as lively as
No,
over the
I mean
weekend.
news-wise, after the DeepSeek yesterday, I mean I've been working with DeepSeek more today, and in fact I'll show you a video that I recommend you watch because as a software engineer, part of this I've already got installed anyway. So, but I'll go through that in a bit. But market health wise, short term timeframes are looking good because, but the rest are fairly flat because Bitcoin is just edging back above the point of control, which was the kind of the level of sort of that it was kind of trying to get a bit above, but never kind of quite maintaining it.
Yeah.
And if you go down to the 15-minute, you can see it kind of it was below it this morning when I woke up. And then it was bobbing around a little bit till about 8, 9 o'clock. And then it decided to go above it. So,
yeah.
That if I go to checklist, so you'll see that Bitcoin is up 1.47% from the start of the UTC trading day, and the alts are up 3.74. The others, that is, the total three is only up 2.38, so the top 10 are not doing a right lot, but the alts are doing more, if you know what I mean. So the top 10 are keeping the total three down a little bit. USDT dominance has dropped 1.64% because people are trading, because there's opportunities now. How long Bitcoin can maintain this? I'm absolutely certain that if I went to put on a point of control for the last couple of days, because this is quite an old one, it will be around this area here, right? You can clearly see a trading range, and I guarantee you there's a point of control going through that. So you can see it's kind of already starting to falter at this level. So it really needs to break through it to crack on, right? To kind of go back up. We're at 102,700, 128. But this is a kind of major resistance. So we'll see what happens when the London market opens, and then later when the Americans open. But I think the Chinese, as you say, they tend to cash out. This has happened traditionally, that in Chinese New Year they sell their crypto, right? Because they're spending money on Chinese New Year. and they all tend to be off work for a week in China, I think, for Chinese New Year. Although that didn't stop DeepSeek coming out like in May. I mean, it'd been out before, but they are one release. You know, but yeah, so Bitcoin is at this resistance now. We'll just see what happens from here on in. There have been some great alerts. But before I get into that, let's just have a look at our little friend here. Everything is just still flat, right? So 47, we're back down here from 53, 46, 47, and the fear and greed index has gone down again from 53, I think, yesterday to 50 today. So although it's looking positive, it's still fairly neutral, you know, in terms of fear and greed and people's expectations of what's happening in the market.
Yeah.
Liquidations wise, there are, again, pretty flat. If you look at 24-hour long short, almost 50-50.
I guess the inauguration, the price was already priced in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, I feel sad for some people that there was a guy that invested $1.2 million of his inheritance that his father left him. He was a Donald Trump supporter, and he put it all on options to do with the Trump media company. And because he thought that the inauguration would mean the price would go up, but clearly didn't quite understand how these things work. And he's currently, I believe, lost over $600,000 of that money. So, which is pretty sad. I feel really sorry for the dude, you know. But anyway, you know, things are priced in. They know where he won back in November, for God's sake. And actually, if you go back to the charts, if you were to go back to almost any alts, let me go to say, I don't know, WIF, I'm just doing this. But if you go back to kind of, you can almost see, oh, no, wait a minute, there you go. It'll be that one. November the 5th. You go back to any alt, right? And you go back to November the 5th, and that's when the price, because it was meant to be, hey, it's crypto friendly, right? That's when the big earnings were done. And since then, it's retraced well beneath all of that, right? So, you know, so there's, you know, it's all of it, any gains anybody got because Trump got in have now been wiped out, you know. But that's pretty normal. That's pretty normal. People took, they went surging up, everybody took profits and got out as it shimmered down again, right? That's not because Trump had done anything wrong or anything. It's just that's the way trading works in the markets, right? In terms of alerts today, it's been a very good day. As I said to you, the alts are up 3.57 if we ignore the total three, if we ignore the top 10. So let's just say 3% actually if you bring them into it. But you'll see that many of the alerts we've got in, WIF is up 25%, you know, ACH is up 20, ACT, which was a classic me trade earlier today. I've left this on here. It kind of came in around, this is where I went in. Yeah, so, but what was really good was, I'm going to move this, let me replay it because it might be better if I replay it back to where it was. So came in on the 15-minute as a breaker structure, and then I was waiting for an entry. I then went down to the, I think 5-minute initially. Bring all this back over. And you know my rule that I say I wait for, it actually ended up playing out on the 1 minute. So I wait for it coming down, going up, coming down, going up, right? So I wait for that kind of, so that I want to know it's not just continuing this further down nonsense, right?
Yeah.
I want to come down and eventually flatten out and then start to do that move up. And it's exactly what this did. So if I just let this play for a second, you see it goes above it, comes beneath it, again, goes above it, then starts its journey up. It was a classic me trade, really. So if I just pause that for a second, go back to, say, the 5-minute now and let it play, and it did, I'll let it go on a bit faster. It played out really well. So I had a profit. Actually, my profit target was only up here about 4%, which is when I got out. But as you can see, it's done a lot better since then. But yes, it was a classic, the kind of trade I would take looking at what Bitcoin was doing at the time. I wanted that double confirmation. Yes, we're coming in, but we're not going as low a low anymore within the fair value gap type thing, and we're going back up. So that was a good trade, but that's not been the best of it. I think the best one has been WIF and ACH today. This is where WIF came in as an alert at 6:45 this morning. And as you can see, it's just done phenomenal since then. ACH, I don't think I put when it came in, but it came in at a similar time. Because what I tend to do every morning, I literally come in and clear all my watch lists out. The moment I wake up, I clear them completely out. And then I go to the alerts and I wait for them to start coming in around 7 a.m. And then or if it depends what time I wake up, but let's say 7 a.m. And then I start adding them, and then I'm monitoring them. Right? That's what I do. And the reason I do that is that these alerts, they're live. So if it's rising fast, falling less, that might last a couple of hours, right? If you get that break of structure, that probably plays out. So if you come in the next day, you're looking at coins that are maybe not relevant again from our trading strategy point.
Yeah.
Right. So I literally delete them all. I don't question it. I just delete, take away the red ticks for everything. Start with an empty watch list. The same with the blues, right, which are the negative ones, right? I clear them out, and then I start doing that. So, there's been some really good trades coming in for people trading. The coins are outperforming Bitcoin. This is really nice, because if Bitcoin's having a pullback or if Bitcoin's performing, if you get something like Hive coming in here, and it also comes into other channels as well, right? So you now know it's outperforming Bitcoin. It's had a retracement there. It's had a bearish order block back at 7:30, a bearish break of structure, fair value gap at 7:30, but it's still outperforming Bitcoin. So if you go to Hive, which was, you can see it's actually done quite well this morning, even though it started on more of a down, if you know what I mean. But it's actually done quite well because Bitcoin has gone up a little bit here, as you can see. Hive is actually outperforming that climb, so it's done pretty well. But WIF is now the way that the relative strength works is, and the reason maybe WIF didn't come into that channel is that it runs an algorithm that calculates a coin's relative strength ongoing with every candle, right? Every 15 minutes, 1 hour, up to 1 day. They all get a relative strength number. 100 equals 0, effectively. Less than 100, underperforming Bitcoin. Greater than 100, outperforming Bitcoin. So that channel that puts in outperforming Bitcoin, they have to be already above 100.
Yeah.
So, and rising against Bitcoin. And that's just to stop a load of false positives. So it might be that WIF was underperforming Bitcoin and is on its way up now. But so it may come in later. Who knows? OM has now just come into that. I think I was looking at OM earlier because that was, it's already in my watch list.
It's been a good flavor the whole week.
Yeah, it has. It's been a great coin to trade as OM. So OM is already in my watch list because that's come into break of structure, fair value gap break of structure alerts. It's now outperforming Bitcoin. So this is a very interesting coin to keep an eye on. Because I don't think it's come into, has it come into there as well? No, Hive has. Look, Hive has come into break of structure. OM came in 15 minutes ago. So these are great coins now to keep an eye on, that if they have a pullback to the fair value gap, that might be a good time to get in. So they've been good. So the other thing I've been doing is I continued to play with our little friend DeepSeek R1. And eventually I got it to, it's quite slow because obviously everybody's using it, right?
Okay.
And what I've discovered, if you want a little trick, is you do a prompt within it. You turn R1 on and you do a prompt, and maybe you get away with another one, and then it'll say server's too busy. What you do is you copy everything, start a new chat, and effectively say, look at all of this. This is the problem we have. We're going to continue. And it tends to work if it's a new chat. But because it has to look at all the history every time you put more in it, and it has to go back, I think that's the server's busy. But with this one, it was finding order blocks, and I got it working in the end. So 15-minute chart. If I turn off these and put on these, it found this order block here perfectly. Why is that good? Because it means that I can incorporate into some of the alerts. Not only is it a break of structure fair value gap, but it also formed an order block. Or maybe there's it's now forming a bearish order block at the top, right? So that could be resistance. So I'm giving it some thought about how I want to use it. But we have a really large, well, I've written a large kind of strategy system with what we call actions, filters with sub-filters, and strategies with actions, where multiple things can go on and all these different checks can go on. So as I develop all of this, I could probably develop some really complex strategies. And then I've got a full back tester built into this where I can back test from the beginning of time, and it'll give me the results through all the different markets, bear markets, bull markets, things like that, right? So, but in terms of testing R1, I found this guy's video, Skill Leap AI. You need to install Docker on your machine. Docker is like a container where you can have a computer inside your computer.
Okay.
So software engineers use Docker all the time, right? And so I've got Docker installed anyway. But you can actually download DeepSeek R1 using this thing called Olama. So you install that, and you can install models, and R1 is one of them. And on a MacBook Pro, he's getting pretty good results with not the biggest model, not the 70-odd gig model, but I think it's like 25 gig model. It's doing pretty fast on his MacBook Pro. So I'm going to install that later. I was waiting for the stream to happen, and then I'm going to definitely install that and have a play. And it's even got a web UI where you effectively, it looks like you're using DeepSeek online, or like ChatGPT online, but you're not. You're using it locally on. Everything's local. You don't need the internet. So
interesting.
So I'm going to give that a try. But you can just Skill Leap AI. He did this. It's one of his latest videos because he did it one day ago. But it's a well done video for non-technical people of how to install this. So that's his face, so you remember it. So well done, thanks to you. I've already liked it, so give him a follow. He's kind of on top of it. But anyway, so in terms of the market, that's the thing today, Biz. BTC is officially back above that point of control, but at clear resistance right now. So who knows? We'll have to wait and see what happens.
True. Well, all we can do is basically play with the data as it's coming in, because they tend to play out for the moment being. And like you mentioned, as they come in, well, I like your style because you're not chasing and you're not guessing. You're just waiting. You're waiting for the right pullback, because it tends to always come back to the fair value gap. And when it does that, you just gotta be ready and trust the system. And so
that's right.
I noticed some of these, like you're going off the 15-minute candle, but it took like 3 or 4 candles before the move actually pulled back and played, and then another 4 more candles for it to follow through on the thesis.
That's right. So you got to have patience, right? Which is why you can't be monitoring a million coins at the same time. And so pick if they come into outperforming Bitcoin, if they come into rising fast, falling less, and you're chasing a long, and it comes into the bullish fair value gap break of structure, you've got 3 confluences there, right? And I might actually be adding at some point to this alert here some extra little columns that tells you if it's come into those other channels as well, with a little tick. So you've got 2 confluences, this 1, 2, maybe 3 confluences on a coin. And then, of course, it's about what the hell is Bitcoin doing? If Bitcoin is tanking, maybe you should be thinking about going short as opposed to going long. So, but again, if it's outperforming it or it's rising fast and falling less, even if Bitcoin does have a little pullback, those coins will pull back less. So if you're in a trade already and it's formed a fair value gap, it might just come and ping it before it goes off again. But always raise your stop. So even if you get stopped out, you're already in profit, right? The moment it goes 1-2% in profit, your stop should be in profit. Simple as that. Then you can't lose, no matter what. You might not get as big a win, but you won't lose, and that's important. That's important. So yeah, so that's it.
Cool. All right. Well, that's it, everybody. Thank you all for watching. I am your host Biz with Andy, and we'll be back again tomorrow. Today is what, Wednesday? So we have Thursday. So Thursday is today's Tuesday. So yeah,
2 more days this week. Yeah,
that's right. You know, it's good. The thing about that, why it's confusing is because I actually start we actually start the stream on my Sunday night, and so technically it's my Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. Yeah. So anyhow, look, this is good. So if you guys haven't done so, give us a follow. You can follow us on Twitter, as well as you can follow us on YouTube as well. Crypto Hub HQ. You can get to our Discord server, clicking onto the link. Scroll down to the bottom. There's the Discord server link, and yeah, you can join us. And then if you given us a follow, share your Twitter handle to our Discord, and we'll verify that, and we'll just get you the member, and you'll be able to see all this data right away. And so,
everything I've shown you see.
Yeah. And if you guys have any insights, any tips, any trades, any setups that you guys are working on yourself, feel free to share it with us. Curious to know what you guys are looking at, as well as other coins too. So until tomorrow, we'll be doing this, or even afterwards, if you want, join the server right now, and we'll just hit the transition right away. All right, guys, take care. That's it for today. Peace out.
Happy trading, everyone.
Boomer Degen, having fun. Spotify.